Heading out into Port Phillip Bay today, Sunday afternoon, nice day on the water, about 5-10 knot winds. Heading out for a Martha Cove. Gonna go for some squid and I'll show you what I do to catch them. Any little techniques and anything you might pick up can be handy. Then we're gonna try and use some of the fresh squid, head out a bit deeper, try and get some end of season snapper, see if the big reds are on the tuna sabo. Got a barometer of about 10-20, so it's a little bit higher than what we want, but high is better than low, and we'll see how we go. Squid fishing here, so I'll show you what I do generally when I'm fishing by myself, trying to gather a bit of bait for a snapper or a gummy session. So what I'll do is I'll use my 4 rods, which you're legally allowed to use in Victoria here. I'll have 3 rods just out in the rod holder. Depending on how fast I'm drifting with wind and current and whatnot, is how far I'll have the line out. If I'm drifting slowly, I'll have the lining quite close so it doesn't snag on bottom. If I'm drifting quickly, I'll have the line out a lot further as the boat tows the jig along and keeps it off the bottom. So we'll start off here. We're drifting quite quick at the moment, so I'm just gonna put him about we're at about 4 or 5 meters, so I'll put about 4 or 5 meters of line out. Set the drags nice and loose so you don't pull any squid off the barbs. And then just simply whack them in the rod holder. Then I'll get rod number 2, do the same thing, straight out the other side, 4 or 5 meters, set the drag the same, nice and loose so that it's tight enough that it holds the squid on, but loose enough that they can run when they try and pulsate away. And get the 3rd rod out. So we'll just pop him out this side as well. Almost as if I'm trolling some rods along here. Rod holder, make sure they're nice and secure in the rod holder, because rods do get lost. So that's the 3 rods out, dangling, and I'm always keeping an eye on them because squid sometimes grab on and they don't always take line, so you just got to keep a good eye. And then the 4th rod, what I do is I cast the direction that I'm drifting towards so that I can let the jig sink down to the bottom and whip it up off the bottom. If I cast it out the back of the boat, what happens is, because I'm drifting this way, the boat tows the jig and keeps the jig well off the bottom, and it's just not in striking range for the calamari that we're after. Alright, so we've just hooked up the first squid and it was actually on the rod that was dangling. So I'm just taking it nice and easy on him. It's not a big, oh, he's just dropped off. It was only just hooked. So the rod that I'm casting with, I'm using a Yamashita 3.5 with the rattle. I find these really effective with the red foil body. It's important to have a foil body for the shine. You get the shine off the sun. So the way that I'll work this once it's in the water, I'll launch it as far as I can, the direction that we're drifting. The jigs sink about a meter every few seconds, 3 or 4 seconds. So I'll let it hit the water and I'll count to 5 or 10 in my head, let that jig get down, and then just keep that line sort of tight with a little bit of slack in it and give it just a few whips. And then leave it for another 5-10 seconds. Let the jig get back down. Keep the line not tight, keep a little bit of slack in it, but keep it so that there's just a nice amount of tension on there. Then after that 5 or 10 seconds, whip. Let it sink again. Let it get back down to the bottom before you bring it back up. All right, we're on again. Oh, we've got a double. All right, so this rod's hooked up again. All right. Now, because the squid are so soft, they're flesh, I'll always net them. I won't lift them out of the water unless they've got the net behind them. All right, so that's bait number 1 in the boat. Nice little calamari, good size for eating because the flesh is nice and soft. Also perfect for bait right there. Whether you cut the head off, use the head, cut into little rings, strips, whatever you want, perfect bait. All right, got another squid on here. Nice and easy, just keeping that line tight. Don't want him to pop off, don't want to rip him off, just nice and easy. Reach down, start getting the net ready as I'm bringing him in. Okay, so he's hooked pretty well, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift him straight in the boat here. Again, not the biggest of calamari there is, but perfect bait size because we're going for snapper with them. So it's just, that is such a good bait right there. It's as good as it's going to get. And if we don't end up using it for bait, it's going on the pan and it's going to feed us. Perfect. So we're just starting another drift here. We've got two in the live bait tank so far. So again, just that out a few meters. Rod holder, next one. Out that few meters. Number 3. Out a good few meters again. In the rod holder. And then 4th rod I'll be casting. So I've just finished up the squid jig session. We're gonna head out for the snapper now. We've ended up with about 14, so it's not too bad. There's no monsters. Some all right hoods. They'll be the good ones for the feed for tonight. These small ones here are just dynamite bait. I will be using some of them whole. There's probably standout jigs with your Shimano Cephias. These always dominate for me. I've always got a couple of these here, as you can see. The red foil did get a few with the rattle in it, the Yamashita, but definitely the standout with the white Cephia exiles. So yeah, where we were fishing, so this is Mount Martha right here. You've got Dramana in the background. We were working this shallow reef that runs across in anywhere from right up to the rocks, which is about 4 meters, out to about 6. So I'm just going to show you on the sounder exactly how I've done the drifts. So as you can see, the purple line is our trail that we've left. That's Martha Point right here. So I'm just been working the shallow reef, just drifting, doing a few drifts in that spot, then I'll come down 30, 40 meters, do another few drifts, come down another 34 meters, do a few more drifts, just to make sure that I'm covering as much ground as possible. Obviously on the first drift, if I was getting squid after squid, I'd stay there. But because we only got the 1 or 2 after a few drifts, I moved down, cover more ground, catch more squid quicker. Out a bit deeper now, out off Mount Martha, as you can see down behind the big red container ship over there. We're about 14 k's or so out, sitting in somewhere a bit over 20 meters, under 25. Haven't been able to sound up any fish, so I've just pulled up anchor sort of in a spot where I get gummies on the regular. Occasionally at this time of year you do get the odd red that takes the bait, which is good. So we're just going to be using your normal sort of what they call your Western Port rig, which is, so I've got my easy slider on my main line, which slides up and down the main line to the swivel, and then I'm just using a 40-pound leader, which is plenty, but fish will get through it after a while. To my double hook, got the top hook snelled, the other hook I've just got tied on normal knot. So it's pretty simple like that. And then I'm going to be putting out some of these whole squid, the little ones. So that the way that I find best, I like to have it pinned with the hood in the top like that, so that if when the water's moving, the squid's sort of swimming naturally. So this top hook I just used as sort of as your toe point, or your sort of assist point. So I'll get him through the hood, through the spine, so there's into a bit of meat. And then I'll often find that the head gets bitten off. So I'll try and put this hook through the bottom of the hood, and then I'll try and bring it right out through the head and try and join it all. So as you can see, the hook's through the hood, just there, and then out the head like that. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of slack line there, that's fine. And that's it. That's how I rig my squid. Whether it's dead baits or live baits, that's how I do it. With the hook sticking out like that, plenty of hook point exposed, which is what we want. So what we'll do is we'll give him a bit of a launch out there, making sure you try not to wrap up on the cast. So, and then we're in about, over 20 meters. So once the bait hits the water, I'm just going to keep letting the line out so that the bait ends up out there and doesn't swing back into the boat. Just keep letting that line come off. As soon as the line sort of stops, you're going to know that you're on the bottom. So that's it, that's on the bottom there. So I just lock the bail arm. With my drag, I'm not going to fish with a light drag. I'm going to keep it in gear, locked up. Just enough so that they can peel line off, but enough that the hook sets in the mouth. You don't want the hooks just touching their mouth, because if you get that slack line, the hook falls out. You want enough tension when the fish takes the bait that the hook rips in and sets in there. So I'll just sort of give that a wind, get the line tight, make sure the sinker hasn't sunk into any mud or anything, and then boom, that rod's ready to go. We're gonna leave him right there. Now the other two rigs I'm using, we've got your normal snapper snatcher rig. So these work really good with gummies and snapper, and kingies as well. Kingies love these rigs. So it's just a matter of, you got your sinker at the bottom, swivel up there, it's connected to the main line, 2 hooks, 2 baits, or you can do 1 hook with 1 bait. And that's as simple as that. I'll always run at least 1 snapper snatcher or paternoster rig. I'll always have 1 out, just to mix it up. Quite a few sessions I've had, I've only caught them on that paternoster rig, not on the other running rigs. So it's always good to have at least 1 other rig out in case the fish aren't feeding normally. Dave, lock that rod up. Oh, it's dropped it. So we've just hooked up on a fresh squid hood. Don't know what it is yet. There is an absolute array of banjos and Port Jacksons and stuff around here. I'm getting a few little head shakes, so I reckon it could be something that we're going to bring home, but we'll soon find out. Got a little bit of go to him, this guy. Not bad. Oh, it dropped it. It just dropped off. Far out. That is devastating. Little baby school shark, just a little sucker. He's got a bloody leech on his tail there. I'll get that off for him. Try and get this hook out. All right, he's going back in. See you, buddy. Come back when you weigh 20 kilos. All right, we've just hooked up to a gummy here, and this guy ain't stopping. So I reckon we've just hooked up to a gummy on a bit of squid. There's definitely going to get some tangles here. I need to get these other rods in, but I'm going to concentrate on getting this guy to the boat.
Do you want me to try?
Did a nice big run first. It's what we like. Just put a fresh squid strip on that double hook rig, on the running rig. See if this guy's got a bit of size to him. He sure took off like a steam train, but he's slowed down a little bit. He's trying to get away. There we go. This is dinner. I probably could tighten the drag up a bit more, but there's a nice amount of tension, so I'm not going to risk it. He's coming up. The hooks are definitely set. He's coming up now. He's done two pretty decent runs, so hopefully he's losing a bit of energy. Nothing worse than a nice fresh green fish up at the boat. Heart is in my mouth at the moment after dropping a nice fish just before. I'm shaking a little bit. Just got that tiny bit of light. There we go. All right, he's here. Oh, it's an eagle ray. Eagle ray. Oh, I'll tell you what, these guys give you a bit of hope. I thought that this was a gummy. So I've got the last baits out and something's taken, but I'm thinking it's a ray. Hasn't really done much. No explosive bursts, but we'll soon find out. So just coming back in now through Martha Cove. Unfortunately, didn't manage to land any big snapper or gummies, but still had a bit of fun. Got a small schoolie, a few small gummies, whole heap of rays and banjos, which is your pretty stock standard for fishing Port Phillip Bay. Yeah, unfortunately dropped that fish at the start, which I'm still devastated about. I reckon it was a snapper, but I guess dropping fish makes me come back more, makes me want to come back more and fish harder. So I'll dream for the next few nights about the fish I lost and hope next time we manage to get one in the boat.